So what I have open here on the left is the graphical interface to our Hasura environment. This is the way we can look at the database. And my purpose in this video is to just walk you through what's going on in the repo called hasura-colrc-backend. So this is the part of the project that has the database. And you know that it runs in a Docker container. And it has stuff in it that builds out this database. So we have tables in our public set that have all of the data that you just saw in the tabular views, and have the database components that help us access those audio files, PDFs, and PNGs. You know, the files that get displayed under the text area and the audio area and such. So we have this set of tables. This is really our data. And we also have a separate schema that helps us log changes to the database and produce that, the history of changes so that the community can, sorry, my puppy's right here, so that the community can keep track of changes and roll back, hopefully roll back changes that are bad. Sorry, puppy attack, hi. Oh no, no. All right. Murder me, please. Okay, so, I know. Nope. What you should know about this, what I should know about this is just to pause the recording until I can get myself back into a safe place. They're such good puppies, but they're so bitey right now. Oh my gosh. Stop biting me. Oh. All right, survived. So this is so we have an audit system as well as a regular database architecture. So this repo, hasura-colrc-backend, contains the data that we need, a whole bunch of exciting data files, and the index file is invoked. This is what actually builds the tables. Now, some of the work we're going to be doing might involve changes to the actual database structure. And when that happens, it will almost certainly need to involve this repo. And it turns out that managing database changes is a little bit more complicated than managing just front-end code kinds of changes. So we'll want to work with you closely about making changes to the database structure. But this is where the table builds happen. So every time we initialize the database, this defines the tables and builds them and produces all these beautiful, that's the world's most boring table. Sorry, let's get a good table. These wonderful tables with all of these exciting data elements in them that then we can look at, we can join, we can assign various arbitrarily complicated permissions patterns to. So I'll just note that if we look at, I'm not going to actually edit any permissions, but we can control down to very micro levels who can view, who can add, who can delete any elements inside of tables. So column level control and row level control. And that's right now, we don't use a super complicated set of those permissions because the data that are currently in the repos are all okay for public view and consumption. We will be getting data in the future from our community that needs to be protected behind authentication. And so I think we will be creating some fancier permissions patterns here in the system, and that will happen. That can happen in the Hasura interface. It doesn't have to, beautiful thing is it doesn't have to happen in our backend repo. So you can see that there's a whole bunch of different table definitions and then functions for table building, and then big giant functions to just make everything and populate it all with data. And so that's basically what's here in the backend, along with the Docker file that you'll maybe become more familiar with Docker files as we're working in a Dockerized environment for our development environment. All right, so that's the back end. Let me stop this and we'll talk about the smallest piece, the middle piece, the authentication server.